One other thing is that if you can watch a video online without the internet, and that's just not fathomable, then you can do it if you really were. And actually, I am. It's because I watched it at first and let it buffer, and then I rewinded it and saw that the buffering stripe for the timeline is already solid, so it must still be there even without online. That's unfathomable, right? That's But very quickly, I just made an intro the best I thought I ever did. So it's unfathomable to recognize one of two things. A, if you know the difference of something so much that you can see in detail a definite matter that was separate, such as backwash in a canister versus and backwash from like other people. I got 2 mouthwashes from 2 people, and it was the bottom of it. When I kept going into the bottom, is that more of their backwash versus pouring a cup and telling it everyone else is pouring the cup, and they're stinky people, but they don't ever put their mouth on the bottle. And so if you can quantify, aka just tell the difference of that complex matter, then that would be something that would be unfathomable. The other thing is that a bird doing something the worst that it could do, which is fly over your head, and at any point you can fly away. But hovering over your head and acting like it's about to land on top of you and start pecking or clawing for like 5 minutes if it's above you, and it won't go away. That's like a cloud that thunders over one person and it doesn't leave. You've seen those cartoons, right? But imagine if this were hawks and they could like do something with their eyes where they look at each other and it makes a lightning bolt. And so anytime a guy like a Native American Indian puts his hand up, it's a lightning bolt that comes down, and it's only because he called up these hawks. He's found them at just the right time where he can call them up so quickly, as easy as up, down, right, left. That would be unfathomable, right? Something that's resealable means that you can actually have it at a different time without it going flat. Because if it's a can, then it can't be shut again once it's open. It's like below the range separation of where you are if you put it on. But how quickly can they get there? This all happened in a farmer's patch. Because they took potatoes that weren't theirs. But secondly, and separately, there was this mom inside of a playground and she was vlogging, but it was an outward shot, it wasn't her, it was, or backdrop, it was on her kid. So usually you see a parent doing that, like a dad with a camcorder, but that would be in the 90s. So nowadays, this is what it is, 2024. Moms go around having to film the kids off a smartphone. And if you don't have the last ball, 40 ounce, those are the ones that are resealable. Everything else basically isn't. And if it's not under 270, then it's not malt liquor. So then I can only afford $3.01. And I wanted to say the word obtuse. I don't know what I said, but I definitely delayed it, and that sounded really good. So I'm going to put that in the intro, and we're going with what obtuse is because it actually defines what classical characteristics are. Opportune hunger force, keep it PG, not 13. Alright, so when I was leaving the locker room, there was this one person, and she was Hispanic, and I know this because my last name is. And so she stared at me kind of funny, and I did an eye roll because she was staring at me funny. So then I was going out the same direction that she was going out, but this time it was with the person in front, and she was blocking the entrance. And before, the same person had her hand out like that, and it had a ring on it. This is after I said I was going to take a picture, and I took a picture of the cloud. She did that with her hand. I'm like, oh yeah, I should take a picture of that. Not. So I actually didn't, but when I saw her, I was putting on my backpack, so I did the same thing she did with my hand because I didn't see her there, and she could have washed me easily because she does bomb dives, and I have to block it, and I can't get it in time. But in that scenario, I saw her again, so I put my hand out kind of to imitate her. And this lady who looked like in Aqua Teen Hunger Force the Shake, because his face is fleshed out, it matches a lot of demographics. This lady who looks like the Shake in Aqua Teen Hunger Force stepped in front of me, and it ruined my effing line. So I was just right in front of you know who putting my hand like that because she did that, and then my strap on my backpack went on, and then here comes Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I had to double sidestep, and I landed into the wall, but I pushed off the wall, and I actually didn't even miss a step. But if you're looking at what I did, it would have looked really bad because the Aqua Teen Hunger Force person made me sidestep twice. So I'm not going to reference Aqua Teen Hunger Force too many times because it has teen in the name, and so Aqua Teen Hunger Force prima facie is scandalous because I'm an adult and I'm talking about it. But nevertheless, there's this woman who is older than I am, older than this person who is same as me, and she looks old because I'm old too. But people say that I look younger than I am, so that's why I'm referencing how old this person is. However, the fact she looks like this character Shake. On Aqua Teen Hunger Force, he's fleshed out so much, and in so many different scenes, it's just complex in his classic denotation, which is the name of this vlog at the start. And if you know what a classic denotation, it's ZZ Top when he said you can't beat it, and it was this southern riff on the guitar, and he was right. And so that is the pinnacle of southern rock and roll. And so the pinnacle, or this is what they say in Mortal Kombat, the apex of something, is where chaos meets its end product. So it has a fruition, so it has an adaptation, meaning it has a cast mode, key cast that it can't get any better than that. And that's what Sauron did with the ring, Lord of the Rings. And it's just so happy that there's data points in it that are just like an elf and a man saying, like, look at the sky, look at the soil. I can tell there was bloodshed and they're coming this way. And then they set up Mount Doom. It's a hard to cut, right? But this other female who kind of looks like the Shaken Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and the lady who is younger than her but my same age but looks old, she had her hand out and had a ring on it, and I took a picture of clouds. I'll put it in right now. After this picture of the clouds, I said that I was going to take a picture of it like 3 times because it, for 10 minutes, was straight line like a razor, and I cut my lip with the razor. I shoved it into the mirror, and this is when I saw Carly Styles, and I know that online this is the female that lives in Idaho now, but I knew she lived there, so I follow her because she's Shay Tard's like cousin, and the Shay Tards were the first vloggers I ever saw. They're on the internet. Followed up with Casey Neistat, and after that it was Jake Paul, and I was off to the races. Because this Nicolette person, she met with Carly Styles, and look up Nicolette is the mother of Shay Carl, and Carly Styles and Shay Carl, he drinks and cheats on his wife, or wants to online, with like text messages. Colette, my bad. And then Carly Styles is Colette's sister-in-law, so Colette actually has stuff that she posts online where it was so scary because other than drinking something, if you have, and this is Shay Carl, when they had the adults night after hour vlog, and I just go down, Colette, I was staring at you, thinking, what are you thinking? This isn't a vlog, and now you're a co-star permanently, because Shay isn't running with the camera. Carly Styles, there's one of 2 ways that explains what you showed me on the internet that was on you, and it is either from backwash or cups being clean and pouring in stuff from people who are robustly grotesque. And so it's equivalent to their backwash giving you a mouthwash bottle and say, finish it, it's clean. I poured it into cups, I didn't put my mouth on it. So I saw that compared to other things where you might have got hit by a branch on your arms, or you do like blacksmith work, that would be hard to prove. It's like DNA is more evident than something low scale like that, so you would think that a whimsy excuse, if you can excuse one, like being a blacksmith, is why you have white scars on your arms. And in that scenario, I can't get any more graphic because the rest is PG-13, and we're keeping it before PG-13 is PG. And in describing what that has on, she actually, in her vindication, said that skin is like Wheaties, and she put it into a jar and she showed raisins, and she's like, where these raisins are where your scars. No, she didn't say that, but that's PG-13. In PG version of that, she would said the raisins where the Wheaties aren't is where your skin is dehydrated, and that's where it burns because the cells aren't getting what they need in that regime. And that's imitating what Carl Sagan would say is the galaxy, or these how spiral has never broken. It's always like that, right? An extension of the spiral inside the Milky Way is just cloud constructs, and I saw one earlier this morning that was flat edge. I said stay that way for 10 minutes. And this was the byproduct. So this one girl first told me, said, because I talk out loud, practicing for vlogs and taking pictures, because I don't like taking pictures in the area because this one lady farted in front of me, and I said I was staring at her. I actually did capture on camera, and I shouldn't have. People in the backdrop, you don't get a waiver from. The last one I did her and then one other person, and I didn't even post anyone, but the one that I didn't post anyone, it failed. So I wonder if the failed on purpose and they kept the real one, which then would mean I've actually posted a person online that I was filming intentionally and I didn't really mean to. And if that's PG-13, we're gonna keep it PG again. So that's didn't even upload. I doubt it got saved. And so I've never uploaded a video of anyone that I recorded like that I thought I shouldn't be recording, because I've only done that 3 times with 3 different females, and none of them actually went online, so I've never actually done that. This after I just heard this girl with the Ouija board, and she was saying Ouija board really funny at the beginning, like she had an accent. In any case, I saw a turkey and it was kind of hot because it had like these silky feathers, and it wasn't blossoming anything out like a peacock, and it looked kind of like a flamingo, which a little kid saw a blow up flamingo. It's 3 animal balloons. I've seen them last like 2 days because there's a block party down by the water fountain, and it's all great to talk about because it's the second live event at the downtown area that one of them out of the 2, there are so many people that you couldn't even walk through the center thing, and that's the same if they're all getting pushed off a cliff, because that's what someone said they saw in hell. They're dragging their feet into the ground, and I drag my feet on things, and it's sharp if I catch edges. But the important part in this is that if you take what Graham's number is in inflation theory, the only way to take either of them seriously is because these both things inside what we define as the range of mediation, where you can't blame every single male or female for the same thing. That's why Adam and Eve aren't and are at the same time, because they got banished, but they were actually human, and they did exist in the Bible before space-time. So in order to take that, like Eden, where there's no sin, seriously, the material sense, is to have a garden that is basically without it. But that got closed by an angel with fire storage really effed up. So if you take that serious, because it would be equivalent to what Graham number is with the inflation theory, because Alan Goose inflation cosmology can only be denounced if you know like the quantum system 1 and 2 and the quantum third option, which is both at the same time. So if you're considering like what Eden is to what hell was, the snake, if you're Lucifer, if you're Eden as a snake with humans, that's pretty close, right, to having not being stuck in hell. So it would have been that, but that got closed, so the devil can't be that anymore. You know what I'm saying? As the serpent in the Garden of Eden. So he's now bound to hell with like all these angels. So those angels were in the garden too that were with Lucifer, true or false. Because now they're chained to hell with what these angelic tools. Angels have 2 moves. They can tie with a rope like Wonder Woman. Angels that were bad into hell one time and then they're done. So they're down that to eternity. in hell and not the Garden of Eden. So we're the angels that follow Lucifer right now that are demons, fallen angels who got bound to hell ostensibly during the war of heaven. So heaven was like between heaven and Eden. It was just those two places, right, before hell. And this is actually in Mortal Kombat too, because they have Lucifer in hell, and Scorpion is always in hell. Like, I guess that's where he hangs out of every MK character. So it's only equal that opposite of MK1, where Sub-Zero was running everything, the ice game. That Scorpion was in hell like the whole time in the nether realm doing shit for you know who. Coming in hot. That guy just hit the corner going 20. This person didn't have the front of their car, it was bashed in. And I should know because I've made someone. Their whole front car popped off. So there's this one person. By the way, this black stuff in the road is liquid. But there's this other black stuff in the road just like this, but it's droplets of this all around. I thought it was gum like that. And that guy said, no, it's actually just the tar that got dripped. Because it didn't set it like paint and just drip paint for no reason on the side. That's what this stuff is, but it looks like gum and it's everywhere at this other place, which is a retail store. So the front outside of a car, if it's bashed and it's got sharp edges, if it goes in front of you going like 20, which that car just did on the corner of the sidewalk into his driveway, then you can get quick going 10 miles per hour with that edge in front of the car and it's going right through you. At least bare minimum. And what this is equivalent to is just Scorpion's sword attack in hell. So all it has to be going is 10 miles per hour and you can teleport. This guy's like not good or bad, he's just like one of the nether realm people, and he's not what Noob Saibot is. So Scorpion escapes Noob Saibot most probably. The opposite of Scorpion is Kenshi, this blind swordsman who isn't dead in hell like Scorpion. So he doesn't want to get capped by Noob Saibot, because Noob Saibot is a wraith of Behan, which was Sub-Zero in MK1. And so he has like this attack versus shadow, because he's so dark, and he goes down to a hole and he holds his hands up and then you just fall down the hole into a whole bunch of swords. And so Kenshi doesn't want that happening to him. He's a blind swordsman. I just saw another mouse, and last time I did, I didn't dip off here, but in any case, I thought this mouse was the size of a cat, like a little baby cat, but that's been there for 2 days. And I was vlogging the same place 2 days. Watch my earlier ones at Zogker or Doug Ads on YouTube. And Kenshi, he doesn't want, that's the last thing if you want to be blind, falling down a hole from Noob Saibot. That's like fatality automatically. So that's one thing. It's like Sub-Zero's ice crystals when he throws them up as like a beam, like that's what Nightwolf does. I want to see how Nightwolf's lightning bolt, when he pulls it down, is it the same as just like 3 hawks lining up and doing some shit with mirrors? Most likely. So if you can prove one and the other that 2 are the same, and you can achieve like a lightning bolt from 3 hawks with mirrors on them, that's basically a lightning bolt whenever you want it, just like Noob Saibot's fatality or Sub-Zero's ice freeze when he puts his hands up and it comes down like lightning bolt from Nightwolf.